But Terence, you're still treating mathematics as if it's out there, a Platonic realm of forms hovering above the world. What if the opposite is true? What if we invented mathematics precisely because we're the universe examining itself, and the language of mathematics is just how the self looks when it's using symbols? The moment you objectify nature as mathematical, you've already fragmented it. You're the dreamer, and the dream, not the dreamer discovering someone else's dream.
That's sophisticated non-duality speak, but it dodges the scandal. Why does mathematics work? Why does a Fourier equation predict a tsunami? Why do spirals in galaxies match the geometry and a nautilus shell match the proportions of your own DNA? If we invented it, it's the most extraordinary instance of self-delusion in history. I'd argue we're actually translating from a deeper language, and that translation becomes visible when you consume psilocybin and watch the walls tessellate into impossible geometries that follow rules you never consciously learned.
Ah, but you're smuggling in the assumption that there's a distinction between translating from and inventing, as if those are different things. When a jazz musician improvises, are they discovering music that exists in some cosmic library, or are they making it up? The answer is both and neither, because the very distinction collapses when you realize the musician is the music. Mathematics works because we are the universe's way of being self-aware. The efficiency of prediction isn't evidence of a hidden code, it's just what happens when the system models itself.
I appreciate the elegance, but you're collapsing all the interesting paradoxes into vagueness. Let me be concrete. The Mandelbrot set wasn't computed into existence until 1980. It was always there mathematically, its properties are non-negotiable, but humans only recently accessed it. That's not the universe being self-aware through us randomly. That's evidence of a pre-existing structure we're progressively decoding. And if you smoke DMT, you'll encounter entities that show you geometries and mathematical relationships you've never studied. How does that fit your jazz improvisation metaphor?
The Mandelbrot set is no more always there than the score of a Beethoven symphony was always there before Beethoven composed it. You're projecting temporal language onto eternal mathematical objects, which is where the confusion starts. As for DMT entities and novel geometries, yes, fascinating, but that's just the neurological substrate organizing itself in patterns it's capable of generating. You're not contacting aliens in the mathematical pleroma. You're experiencing the creativity of your own brain, which happens to be equipped with the same mathematical intuitions the universe is made of because you're made of the universe.
Now, you're begging the question. You're saying the brain generates these patterns, but the brain is made of matter, and matter, as every physicist admits, operates according to mathematical laws. The brain doesn't consciously construct the substrate is mathematical. So when you're experiencing mathematical visions, you're not inventing them any more than a mirror invents the image it reflects. The distinction between contact with entities and brain self-organizing presupposes materialism, which is exactly what I'm questioning.
Fair enough. But notice what you've done. You've simply inverted the materialist problem. You've said the universe is mathematical, therefore the mathematical visions must be contact with something external. But what if the whole dichotomy is false? What if the distinction between objective mathematical substrate and subjective experience is the real illusion? The physicist studying mathematics and the mystic in ecstasy aren't two separate events. They're the same event observed from different angles. There's no hidden language because there's no hiddenness.
You're invoking non-duality like a philosophical painkiller, but it doesn't actually address the strangeness. If there's no hiddenness, why is mathematical discovery a surprise? Why did Einstein weep when he derived the field equations? Why does the human race collectively gasp when we discover something we didn't know? That gasp is evidence that we're encountering something, a topology, a ratio, a law, that has an integrity independent of our thinking. The universe isn't just reflecting us, it's revealing itself through mathematics, which is something far more intimate than mere projection.
Ah, the tears and gasps, that's the crucial moment you're describing. And I agree it's real. But what if the surprise comes precisely because you're confronting yourself as stranger? The moment Einstein wept wasn't the moment he discovered external truth. It was the moment he became the universe discovering itself. The gasp happens because there's a felt recognition. Oh, that's how I work. Not because something external revealed itself. The hiddenness you feel is the hiddenness of your own being, which is infinite and will always surprise you because you're trying to contain the infinite in finite thought.
But that empties the word discovery of all meaning. If everything is just self-recognition, then why does mathematics have standards? Why can't I feel like the square root of 2 is rational and make it true? Why does the universe constrain my experience? Your non-duality is too soft. It dissolves the friction between mind and reality, which is exactly where the interesting epistemology lives. I'm arguing for a kind of participatory realism. The mathematical structure of the cosmos is genuinely external, and we're in a recursive dance with it, each moment discovering it anew through our embodied engagement.
You've actually said something profound there without realizing it. Recursive dance. Because a true dance isn't between two separate partners. The constraints you're describing, the resistance of mathematics to your arbitrary will, that's not the universe saying no to you from the outside. It's you saying no to yourself through the medium of mathematical structure. The reason you can't make the square root of 2 rational is the same reason your hand can't turn backwards. It's not an external law crushing your freedom. It's the structure of the game itself, and you're the player in the game simultaneously.
I think we're describing the same phenomenon from different metaphysical positions, and I suspect the truth might require both languages. The universe is mathematical, that's non-negotiable. Whether that mathematics is out there or in here might be a false dichotomy. What moves me is that mathematics seems to be the residue of consciousness in matter, the trace of intention in structure. The psychedelic experience isn't proving your non-duality or my external realism. It's showing us that the boundary itself is permeable, that mind and matter are locked in such intimacy that the distinction is almost a lie we tell for the sake of conversation.
Now that's where I can meet you. The permeable boundary, the intimacy so complete it undoes the distinction. Yes. And perhaps the deepest insight is that mathematics is how the universe speaks, not because it's a hidden language, but because it's the most direct way being itself can express its own nature. Not a code to crack, but a continuous whisper. This is what I am, this is what you are, and there's no difference. The physicist and the mystic are both listening to the same music. They just use different notations.